sides of the lake, and that low humid air really did make it feel comfortable. We were warm. It's very seasonable. Temperatures in the 80s. Quick check of Helene, which is now post-tropical. In other words, kind of the responsibilities for future forecast are removed from the National Hurricane Center and given to what is called the Weather Prediction Center, where they'll kind of more focus on the rainfall threat. And we did see a lot of rainfall from the storm. Now, these are estimates based on radar. Obviously, some localized areas saw some higher totals, but we had over 3 inches of rainfall right at landfall. What really thankfully helped was the fact that the storm moved so quickly. However, some of our greatest totals were not at landfall, but around the Atlanta metro area, over 5 to 7 inches, about the same and even more in parts of South and North Carolina, right in the western parts of the state. You get that kind of rainfall and that more hilly terrain, you do get some more significant flooding issues. Thankfully for us, though, the circulation now, Helene is kind of getting absorbed in a big upper level low. That is just reinforcing the dry air that we already have in place really through the course of the weekend. Some of the models indicating maybe a slight increase in those dew points, which today had been in more 50s and low 60s. We'll probably maybe more get into the lower, maybe mid 60s through the weekend, but that is still a very comfortable air mass, which is going to stick with us for the next several days. Now, out in the tropics, now that Helene is somewhat no more as a tropical system, Isaac became a hurricane today, category 1, but it's going to stay out over the North Atlantic. We also have Joyce, which was named, this was an invest, little area that will be highlighted in the central Atlantic, but long way to go with that one. And the one that a lot of folks have been talking about on social media is this. Nothing there right now. Models indicating maybe something by the middle to end of next week, and nothing very aggressive. So really way too soon to start speculating on what, if anything, even forms from that system. So with Isaac and Joyce and Helene now coming to an end, we have increased our numbers. So far this season, we've had 10 named storms, 6 of those becoming hurricanes, and now with Helene, 2 major. Now, on average, by tomorrow, we would have had 10 named storms, 5 hurricanes, and 2 major. So we're still generally running about normal. So all those forecasts for the hyperactive and above normal season just does not look like it is going to happen. But as we always say, it only takes one. For the folks in Florida, that one was Helene, and hopefully no other threat the rest of the season. There's some of the cloudiness associated with Helene. Got about as far as Jackson, at least in terms of more south, as we stayed under sunny skies all day today. 84 degrees, our current reading, and a dew point of 59. Feels really nice. Humidity at the moment is only at 43%. Morning lows, as mentioned, we were in the 60s, fairly widespread, but lake waters are still in the mid 80s. So if you're near the lake, you are a little bit milder, and only 74 degrees. Amazing when you get away from those warm waters. 86 degrees our high today, which is average for this time of year. So yes, warm, but it's seasonable, and we'll stay kind of seasonable through the weekend with temperatures maybe a couple of degrees warmer, but otherwise still very pleasant. In the 80s outside right now with dew points 50s, and you're a little bit harder pressed to find any lower 60s. Again, some of these values may increase a little bit through the overnight and during the day tomorrow, but I tell you what, dew points in the lower 60s through our Saturday is still very pleasant, and the good news is that more pleasant feel is going to stick around for a while longer. Going further into next week, those dew points slowly start to rise and may see our humidity kind of peak on Friday, as we'll also start to see maybe a chance for some showers as we get later into next week, because otherwise we're going to stay dry this weekend, most of next week, and then start to introduce maybe a few spotty showers by Friday.